Hey everyone, welcome to the Passive Income Show. I'm Phil Ebiner and I'm here with Dave Espino as always. And tonight we have a special guest, Jack Wilson, who is a Udemy instructor, an online teacher who is making tons of passive income teaching online courses about physical training, physical fitness, being healthy. And as always in the show, we try to get people on board and ask them questions about how they make passive income with their everyday kind of skills. So first, Dave, how's it going? Give me a quick recap of what your past week has been like, and then we'll hop over to Jack.
Oh, it's going great. I've had a good time this week working on posting actually 76 videos to YouTube.
Whoa, Dave, jeez.
We'll be talking about that next week on next week's show, all about YouTube marketing. But yeah, I'm very, very heavy into the YouTube marketing right now. So it's been
awesome. And I've been seeing all those videos pop up in my feed, and I just want to welcome everyone to the show. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. If you have any questions for Jack or for us during the show, you can ask them. Remember to type in /Q and then your question, and it will pop up so that we can remember it. Jack Wilson, the man, and he is here. Welcome to the show. How's it going, Jack?
Phil, thanks, man. It's going so good. I've been out in Los Angeles now for the last 2 days, and I'll be out here until Tuesday, and I love the weather out here. I'm going to be really sad to go back to Tennessee before I'm back here again in like another month or so.
Yeah, but you're going to be out here for kind of good for a while, right?
I'll be moving back out here in the early fall, late summer is what I'm shooting for. That's when my lease is up in Nashville. And it's been a good time in Nashville. I love that city too.
Nice. Cool. Well, let's get straight into some of the questions that I had prepared for you. And first, I'd like to have you just give a little background about yourself. What were you doing before teaching online courses? And how did you get into personal training and fitness?
Well, sure. All of my education is really in online branding and marketing. And I had a minor in entrepreneurship in college. So I'd always been really interested in the digital sphere and like marketing and how these, incredible celebrities were coming out of nowhere on YouTube by doing cover songs and things like that. And so I really got interested in that. And I really thought I wanted to work in the entertainment industry. I'd played drums and guitar for a really long time. And I went to like private liberal arts school where there was a lot of musicians around there. And since being in Nashville, a lot of people in the recording industry and stuff. Got out, used my marketing education and acumen to do like social media marketing for a small record label in town for about a year. And then I moved out of there because money in the entertainment industry is not as good as it is in the corporate world. So I started doing marketing for a franchise group, and they had at the time, I think like 6 or 7 different brands. And I was their online marketing strategist for 2 of those brands. And I worked with them I think I was with them for about 2.5 years. But while I was doing that, since that was great pay and just part-time, I took another freelancing gig working with a technologies company in Los Angeles. And I really wanted to get into personal training out there. So before I got out to LA, I had always been really into fitness. I used to be almost 50 pounds overweight when I was younger. And I was really miserable, and health and fitness was kind of my saving grace. And I started picking up running and playing pickup basketball with my friends, and took a couple weightlifting classes in high school from a really knowledgeable coach who taught us a lot of the technicalities. And he made sure, he wanted to make sure we knew every bone and every muscle group in the body. And we were like 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids in these classes. But I really appreciated him, pushing us with all of that stuff. So I'd always had an interest in it, and I studied and I got my training certification, started training in LA. And it's so funny because I've only been on Udemy teaching fitness classes since 2013, but I didn't even start taking it really seriously as an income stream until last year. And it finally just occurred to me. I was like, well, why don't I just put my love for marketing and business and all this together that I've been using to make other people popular on the internet and take my passion of health and fitness and kind of put those together for myself instead of working for other people. Why don't I build something that hopefully lasts me the rest of my life with something that I love. So that was kind of the quick 5-minute snapshot of what's gone on the last few years.
Awesome. And what I really like about your story, which is similar to a lot of people teaching online courses, is that you didn't study this in college. You didn't get your doctorate in physical training or physical fitness and anatomy, whatever people do. But you're still someone that knows a lot about it. You have real world experience in it, and you're able to create online courses about it, and people trust you, take your courses, and they really like them. And that's what people listening can do right now. You don't have to teach necessarily what your day-to-day job is, what your bachelor's degree is. You can teach things that you just love. And so jumping into Udemy, how did you first hear about Udemy? And from the very beginning, were you just like, I want to create a course, or did it take you a while to create a course? How was that first course experience like for you?
It was really funny. So my friend who's still an instructor on there, he's a really close friend of mine. His name's Joel Widmer. He's got a few really great courses on Udemy. He told me about the platform, and he actually got tipped off. There's a ton of funny connections in this. So he basically told me that a professor who I had at the university I went to in the entrepreneurship program had put up a course on Udemy and had made something like, I mean, it was an absurd amount of money. This guy had like a pretty big email list from working in his department and stuff. But I think he told me that this professor of mine had made, don't quote me on this, but I think he said it was in the realm of $50,000 or $60,000 in about 11 days on Udemy. Wow. Once he hit the, I want to, be a part of the promotion and advertising program. And he had found this out through a buddy of his who was a golf buddy with my professor. And he was like, Jack, I have never even heard of this website before, but I'm making a course right now. You need to throw a course up on there, even if it's like generic weight loss, because apparently this platform is going to blow up. And I was like, oh, well, thanks for the tip off. I'll go ahead and do this. So I actually created one course with a friend of mine who's a yoga instructor in LA, and the quality even back then wasn't high enough to get published on the website. And I feel like in the beginning, you could have shot it, in 360 or the lowest quality video possible and got it up there. But then I think I took about 4 to 6 weeks to create a just general weight loss course with home workouts and like a custom nutrition plan for it. And things that I had seen my friends who I had trained already successful with kind of this program. And I just left it up there for free because that's what my friend recommended. He was like, put it up there for free. Just see if anybody gravitates to it. I'm not sure if this is like the right market for health and fitness stuff, but why the heck not? If you got the time, do it. And I had time. So I put it up there, and I was training in LA, and I kind of transitioned from doing the marketing and branding and online stuff into fitness, which I kind of wanted to, start cutting my teeth in and working on my craft in that. And so I was doing group fitness classes and personal training. And over the course of, I think it was like 16 or 18 months, my course had gotten, I want to say it was between like 8,000 and 10,000 people had signed up for it. And I was like, and I started to think to because I mean, when you see that kind of visibility or people latch on your course, like the first thing I thought initially was like, it's pretty impressive, but anybody will swipe up anything that's free. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're taking it or looking at it or whatever. And I started looking like deeper into the stats, and I was like, no, people are actually completing this course. And I think at the time I had like 40 reviews, which are all really positive at the time. And so I started getting feedback from the clients that I was training. I was like, hey, would you guys mind like taking a look at my course and seeing what you think? Because you're the people I train, and you guys know what you like that I put into my classes and the personality and how I teach and the format of things. And so I started getting their feedback and started piecing together what they liked about the workouts and the training and the programs. And then finally, oh my gosh, I think it wasn't until the end of 2014 where I was just completely burnt out. I was training like 6 days a week. At one point in time, I think I was getting like 4.5 or 5.5 hours of sleep at night. I'd be up at like 4:45 a.m. to go train classes and train clients through the afternoon, and then train more classes from like 4 or 5 to like 9 or 10 at night, go home, eat everything in the fridge, and then go to bed because I was so hungry from working out with people all day. So it was really like I got to the end of 2014, and I was talking to my fiance and I was talking to my parents. And it was really nice to have a dad and friends who were, they're entrepreneurs, so I could kind of bounce the ideas off of them. And I had some savings at the time, and I finally was like, you know what, I'm just going to commit to this. Like at the time, I think I had like 12,000 people on the weight loss course now. And I had made another course that had a couple thousand people. And I was like, you know what, if my friend's making money off of this and he knows people that are making money off of this and there's people taking this, like I'm just going to live off of my savings. I've got like 6 months to give this a shot. And, sure enough, halfway through 2015, I had replaced like 80 or 90% of my training income. And
Wow.
I kind of,
Nice.
and I kind of dumped the group.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so exciting to see how quickly this all accelerated. And I didn't expect it to go this fast. And, I'm hoping this year is even faster and better than last. So that's kind of how I fell into this whole Udemy thing. Thank God for Joel Widmer. He's the guy who tipped me off from the beginning and told me about this.
It was like a little insider training. So just to clarify though, those first couple courses were just free courses that you had put up?
They were, yeah. The weight loss course was free, and I don't think I ended up putting a price on it until, oh my gosh, this is what kills me today thinking about this, because I could be like 5 or 6 months ahead of myself. I just priced it in October of 2014, I think, for the first time. And I priced it like, I don't know, $29 or $49 or something like that. But I wasn't opt into Udemy's like promotions and advertising program. I had no idea that was the secret sauce. And I didn't think to ask Joel about it because I didn't know. I just threw up a free course and I asked him what to do. And he was like, oh, dude, just throw a price on it and it'll start selling. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I talked to him later and he was like, oh, I forgot to tell you about that. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of an important point. So I missed my first like huge Black Friday sales month, which could have gotten me off to a good start. But, I'm really thankful that I stopped doing what I was doing and I finally decided for myself, as I know you guys have found too. I'm finally decided that I was so excited that I finally decided to start working for myself as opposed to other people.
Yeah. And there's a couple things you had mentioned before that I just want to recap because they were really golden. Was one is asking your actual clients in person what they like about your training, what you should teach in a course. So many times myself and I think other online instructors just kind of do it themselves and say, oh, this is what I think I should teach. And they create the course. And then it's not till after the course that they realize students don't enjoy it, or they get poor feedback or good feedback that they have to change the course later on. So getting feedback before you're actually creating your course or during it is really good advice for everyone out there. So you had savings, you quit your job, you focused on this full time. And just take me from like point A to point B of replacing your income. How did that happen? Did you just create a bunch of courses? How did you promote those courses? How did you actually start making sales for those courses to replace your income?
It was a whole lot of hustle. And I really think, and Phil, we've talked about this a lot in our group, that I think content is going to win the game 9 times out of 10. Like, because there's a ton of fitness people that I look at on the internet who are wildly successul, who would train clients and their backs would snap in half, like their first week of training, because they wouldn't know how to train a 55-year-old woman with rheumatoid arthritis. And not saying that that's a bad thing, but I was looking at these people who had like 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 100,000 plus subscribers on YouTube. And I was like, yeah, this has got to be possible, right? Like I can do this. So, but I think the hustle came from, I was like, okay, if I'm really gonna prove this concept at work, I need to be the dominant person in this category. And at the time there were like a couple of big health and fitness courses, but they were in the like yoga sector of health and fitness. So I was like, okay, well maybe I can like carve out my niche as the weight loss guy. Like, I used to be overweight when I was younger. And now I know, people love personal weight loss stories. Like those are the things that I love to read and love to see. And that inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing. And so I kind of put that out there and I just kept like, I would just outline and keep like making and scripting video after video after video. And I was doing a lot of research that, I had just learned from my education. Like I was doing a ton of competitive research, product research, trying to find ideas that work, specific questions in health and fitness that people were asking. I was really lucky and fortunate to have, over 100 clients, I think so, that I had trained in person between Nashville and Los Angeles, who would come and ask me it's so funny. It's like I started creating content around my personal FAQs that I was getting from clients, because people would come up to me after class and in between, and all like people would ask me while they're doing, squats in the middle of the workout, like, hey Jack, I found this really cool smoothie diet and I wanted to ask you about it. And I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. Like, this is nice that I'm getting all these questions. So I kind of felt like I had this built-in content creation, like this organic content creation thing amongst all these people that I knew. So I just sat down and like started shooting video, and pretty much all of it was just on my iPhone. And I have a really close friend of mine in Nashville who has a great camera and a really nice lav mic. And stuff at the time I could not afford because that would have depleted my bank account. I didn't want to run my savings out, just invest in equipment for something I didn't know would work. So yeah, I just really started creating content and doing a lot of product research on ideas. And I still have about a half a dozen like successful online health and fitness people. Some of them, which I've talked to personally now, which has been, incredible and humbling. But studying their business models and their format and how they created, content and videos and blog posts and texts and PDF downloads and ebooks on weight loss and diet and calculating your calories and all that. So I basically just took, I guess it was, when did I really start going at this? March, I think I had 3 courses, but I really wasn't pressing that hard. I was opted in. And then I think the first month that I cracked $1,000, maybe that was March actually.
Last year, 2015.
And then from then on, it just kind of like escalated more and more quickly. And
that's I think
ahead.
that's kind of like how Dave and I have created our courses. It's just like you just start creating more and more courses and then start cross promoting them to your other students. And so what ways were you promoting your courses once you started creating all these courses? Was it just through the Udemy system, promo announcements, that kind of thing? I know you have your website as well. Were you getting sales through your website?
I have been getting some sales through my website, and Phil, thanks to you, Teachable has been the vehicle at which those are coming through, which has been really nice. But a lot of it's been cross promotion between my courses on Udemy at this point, because I had small social media followings on other platforms, and I've got a pretty decent sized email list that's been growing because I've got a really good product like built into my autoresponder with this 10-day real food challenge that I run. But yeah, it was really a lot of cross promotion between courses, because I think I was really fortunate to have this powerful weight loss course that had, 60 something reviews with 12,000, now like 13,000 people on it. Because those numbers are, rare on Udemy, especially in the health and fitness categories. So I just decided to keep building more courses and adding people faster. And one of the biggest ways I did it in the beginning was throwing out free coupons wherever I could, because this for me, I don't know. I love health and fitness. I really do want to help as many people as I can, because we're not just facing an obesity epidemic in this country. Like, it's a pandemic and it's across other countries. And I was like, you know what, at the very end of the day, if I don't make any money off of this, I'm going to send out as many of these free coupons as I can and unload people as quickly as possible, because at the end of the day, I can say I helped, 10,000 people or 15,000 people or whatever that number ended up being. And I was just really shocked that people then started buying these courses. And I saw, I remember when I first started, I think when I got up to like 5 or 6 courses, I noticed one guy got on there, and in one day when Udemy was running the sale, he bought like all 5 or 6 courses that I had out. And I was like, geez, that's really incredible that, this person who I've never met, who I think lived in Spain, would go buy all my courses. And so I just sent a thank you message. So yeah, but yeah, getting back to your question, a lot of it was cross promotion between courses. And anytime I had something new in the pipeline coming out, I'd be like, hey guys, I'm working on a course that's about this. It's coming out then. And I would even send out coupons ahead of time to people who had reached out to me personally on the platform and said, hey, I love this, or hey, I'd love to know more about this. And then I'd start, creating lectures based on their content and send them links early so that they could check it out and let me know what they think. So.
Got it.
Hey,
awesome.
I'm curious, what are some of the titles of your courses, or if you can kind of let us know, like, what was your first course title and then your second, third, and fourth? So we get a sense of the progression of things, because you're in a hot market. Fitness is perennially hot.
Sure.
And I was curious because I hadn't gotten to know you yet, and Phil had, but I was curious about how fitness does on Udemy, because Udemy is such a brand new platform. There's a lot of, right now it's, even though they have 10 million students, it's still a baby startup company. You know what I mean? There's still so much further for it to go. So the fact that you're doing well on it already in the fitness sector is awesome. So I was just curious, what was your progression of courses? And the other question I had was, not to take the interview over, but
no, go for it. Yeah.
The other question I had was, did you ever change those free courses into paid courses?
Yes, I did. I eventually got to the point where I was like, okay, if there's 12,000 people that are going to take this, I know I've injected this with tons of valuable information and that people can lose weight on this program. It wasn't like I whipped together some, popular fitness article on the 15 best ways you can get 6-pack abs. Like, this was legitimate stuff that I've been training people with in real life that was working. So I put a price on it eventually. And I think I had maxed it out too. Like, it was either $299 or $297 for the big first weight loss course. And I think I titled, Dave, you're talking about titles. I think it was just like weight loss mastery or how to lose weight and work out at home, or it was something really simple like that. Mm-hmm. And then from then I created a foam rolling course because I was getting really into myofascial release and kind of breaking up scar tissue, because I've always wanted to work on my flexibility religiously, and I had done a lot of studying of that. And then I started reading a lot of the fitness guys and girls that I like to study, and a couple of the guys were talking a lot about testosterone. Like, that was a really hot topic for a while, and I still feel like it is, and like natural ways that you can enhance your body's testosterone production and how you can do that with your diet and how you can do that with your exercise program. So then I created what I ended up titling Alpha Status, which I thought was a really fun, I made it a really funny title. It was like Alpha Status, how to master your testosterone and take over your life, or something like that. But people loved it. And today that's still it's always in like the top 3 or 4 best-selling courses of every month for me. And that was one of the topics that I was most fascinated with. And I loved building out the workout program for that and all the supplementation and components of the diet that it went into. And then from that course, after that, I created a course on 6-pack abs, because that is and always will be a super hot topic in health and fitness. And that's one of my top income generators every month. And now the title is 60 minutes to 6-pack abs. And it's all based on, you can just work out 60 minutes a week and get a 6-pack. And then from there, I really wanted to hone in on fat loss and weight loss, because those are 2 of the most commonly asked questions that I would get in the gym from any client that I had and any, student at this point who was sending me a message. It was all questions related to weight loss. And so I wanted to give them as many solutions as I possibly could, because everybody's got a different schedule and it's hard to fit in time to work out, or it's hard to fit in time to, cook and prep food or learn how to eat differently or whatever. So I basically would get questions from either my friends who would just message me on Facebook, people who I haven't heard in like a decade, by the way. They're just like, oh, well, yeah, Jack was my fitness friend from high school, or my fitness friend from college. Like, I'm going to reach out to him. And it was always really nice to connect with these people, because I would thank them and I'd be like, hey, thanks for, giving me this great feedback, because, I'm making these fitness courses now. But yeah, that's where I'm really trying to hone in on, Dave, is the losing body fat and lowering your body fat percentage and losing weight. Cause I feel like that's always something that people are going to want to learn more about, and optimizing themselves by getting leaner.
That's great. And I'm looking at your profile, which I posted the link in the chat for people to check out, is, your course images are great, first of all, but you have really focused on creating specific courses for specific types of people who want to lose weight a specific way, whether it's a certain type of diet, it's doing a certain type of exercise. And so you went the route. I don't know exactly what all your classes are, but at least you have different classes for those different audiences, because someone might not want to take a 12-hour course on every single type of weight loss. Maybe they want that 60-minute course on how to, lose weight at home, or how to lose weight on the paleo diet or whatever.
Sure.
And so I know, like we've talked about before, how our bigger courses seem to last longer, do better, versus our smaller courses. How have you seen your courses? You said like your big mastery course has been consistently well, but have these smaller, more niche topics made sales over the past few months and consistently over time?
They definitely have. And it was really funny, because one of my shorter courses, the fastest way to lose belly fat, which I think is only about, the last time I checked, an hour and a half of total content, which is relatively short, I would say. that has been one of my leaders like the last couple of months.
Hmm.
And I'll usually go back and forth with Six Pack Abs or my weight loss mastery course, or testosterone will come out in the lead some months. But so that's a shorter one, because I'm pretty sure testosterone is like 2.5 or 3 hours. And the one I have on building muscle might be one of the most lengthy. And that's the one that I was really excited about putting out, and actually hasn't sold that well. It's been popular in terms of like free coupon enrollments. I think I've got like 95 or 9,600 people on that course, but it hasn't been one of the best sellers. So yeah, I think, fitness is really different, Phil and Dave. Like, I think I question all the time still, since there's not really fitness people for me to talk to on Udemy. I keep asking myself every day, is this going to work? Are people going to keep coming back to Udemy for health and fitness courses? And it was actually really helpful. I had a call with a woman from the Udemy team in San Francisco a couple weeks ago, and she was asking me all these questions. I was like, hey, I'm really excited to talk to you, because I've been in doubt for like a year, even though I've been making money off of doing this. Like, are you guys going to keep making this a marketplace for health and fitness courses? Because I know that the majority of your people are in, business development and coding and, things that are technical, not physical. And she was like, no, like we have that up there for a reason, and we want to be a marketplace for all things. And so at that point I was kind of like, okay, so I can keep going with this.
Yeah, no, that's really great. And I mean, it just goes to show that you can make money on Udemy and in online courses without teaching coding or business or how to make money online topics. And you saw at the very beginning that there weren't many other fitness trainers on Udemy, and you kind of made that conscious decision saying, I want to be that person on Udemy. And you've set yourself up for success, especially if they're going to be expanding in that niche and more people start coming to Udemy to find fitness courses. So I want to just quickly do a rundown of what equipment you're using now. I know you mentioned you were using your iPhone in the beginning, and you've used a friend's camera, but just for people out there who are getting started, what camera, microphone are you using? What software are you using to edit your courses? Any other sort of applications you use to keep track of your time, or anything else? What's your equipment that you're using?
Sure. Well, I feel like I gotta, Phil, you already know this about me. I was completely minimalist production until like a couple of months ago, basically, when I started to order some more stuff. Dave, I was the smartphone guy making courses that way, except for when my friend was helping me. I mean, he was so helpful with using his nice camera and helping me out with like natural lighting and stuff. But yeah, so the first thing I got for my setup, which I absolutely love, is a Rode Smart Lav that connects straight to my iPhone. And so what I'll do is and I've actually got this sitting right here with me. So I've got like this cool little tentacle tripod basically. And the reason that I got this is because you can actually bend the legs on it, and I can, attach it to a pull-up bar or a dumbbell, or like, hang this somewhere and get some really cool angles and shots for workout stuff. But I can also just set it on a table and record while I'm traveling. I think I paid $19 for this. I just got another one a couple weeks ago. I had one before that had magnetic legs, which are really cool for being able to attach to stuff. So Rode Smart Lav, I got this mini tripod. I've got another like bigger smartphone tripod that I bought off of Amazon for $40. I use a Blue Yeti microphone for recording my lectures when I'm doing that to my computer, which I think I paid $109 or $119 or something like that for off of Amazon. What else do I have in the setup? I just got a fun lighting kit, and which I feel like I bought all of the stuff off Amazon, which is the best place to go, right? From, I think it's called Limo Studio, and it was like $90 for this really cool, easy natural lighting kit. And that, along with Phil recommendation, the Logitech C920, that has absolutely changed the look and the game of my lectures. I looked like I was playing in a sandbox before, and now it looks like, oh, hey, this guy kind of looks like he knows what he's talking about. I mean, before he was talking, it made sense, but now it actually looks like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But those are the basics of my setup. I mean, I've got those couple of tripods. I've got the lighting kit. That's essential. That Logitech C920 has been amazing for shooting lecture videos. And then I still use my smartphone because it can shoot in full 1080 for, workout tutorials and things like that.
Yeah, I love it. Super, super minimalistic and inexpensive for someone that wants to get started. I mean, most people have a smartphone in their pocket they could get started with. That smart the Rode Smart Lob is really nice. I've heard a lot of great things about it. So that's good for everyone to hear. I got a couple more questions, and we'll get to some Q&A from our audience and have anybody log in and talk directly to us if they want. But moving away from the courses just to more general things, for people that don't know, Jack and I are in a weekly mastermind group. We meet every Tuesday morning online, and we just go over our previous week's stuff, what we did, and what our goals are for the upcoming week. How important is it for people to do something like that when they are I'm kind of leading you into this answer, but how important is it for people to have that accountability, especially when we're living this online life where we're not going into an office every day? Has that group really helped you been more successful over the past couple months?
Oh, totally. And I mean, you led me into this question for all the right reasons, because I think, and this is something that I know from being a trainer and working in the fitness world, is one of the ways people are most successful and push themselves and accomplish the most is through personal accountability in their community. So that, like, the group that we're in, Phil, has been absolutely invaluable for me. Like, to get on that call and, you know, bounce around ideas and talk to everybody about their problems and their challenges and their goals and what they're trying to do. Like, I get more out of that hour or two that we spend on the call than any other hour in my entire week for, like, motivating me to sit down at my computer and just keep plugging away at what I'm doing. And it's really nice too and refreshing to not be in a group that's full of the same, like, industry working people. Like, everybody specializes and does different kinds of things. So to get the perspective of you guys, because I'm not trying to sell courses to fitness fanatics. I'm trying to sell courses to anybody who wants to make a positive change in their life through healthy eating and physical activity. So to get an outside perspective and get myself out of the bubble and remove myself from that, and then get my opinions from, you know, you and the other buddies in the group is really, I mean, that's crucial. I would say as soon as, like, if anybody's on this call and they're trying to make the leap into teaching courses online or entrepreneurship or building your own business on the internet, like, find some people that are great at what they do or good at what they do and surround yourself with them.
That's great. And I mean, we just found each other through Facebook and kind of connected that way. I don't even know exactly how I got on the group, but all it takes is, you know, reaching out to a couple people and saying, let's try this. And luckily for us, our group has been pretty religious to meeting every week. But yeah, I totally enjoy it too. My last question is, I think we talked about it in one of our meetings, was you recently went back to doing some live personal training. And I don't know if you had taken a little bit of a break from this or not, but you're making all this money online now. So why did you decide to go back into the gym and trade your time for dollars?
Sure. This is such a funny question. I think the situation of me getting back into training wasn't something that I pursued. It came to me, and it was kind of this revelation of, oh, like, this is why I got into fitness. Like, I really missed this part of my life. And me and my fiance, Leandra, we were working out in the gym, and I had gotten to know, like, a couple of the guys there just through talking about fitness and their programs and, you know, being huge fitness nerds in there. And one of the guys asked me, he was like, "Are you a trainer?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well," he was like, "Where are you training now? What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I run, you know, my own business online," which is still weird to say to people. And I told him about my website and stuff, and he went and checked out my courses and my website. And he was like, "You know, I know you probably don't need this right now, but, you know, in case you're interested, we have a huge influx of people coming into our gym and signing up for personal training. And we could really use some more people, because most of the people who are training at this gym are musicians and they're on the road a lot. And since this is kind of your shtick and you work from home, you know, it'd be nice to have you in. But if you don't want to, like, I totally get it." And I had been through the last year. It was so grueling. And Phil and Dave, you guys know how this is, but, like, I was creating content all the time. And for the most part, I was, like, by myself, and I'm a huge extrovert. Like, I love being around people. That's where I get my energy out of. And I love teaching classes and having personal training sessions, because I love getting to know people and asking them questions about their life, and then, you know, trying to help them with this whole health and fitness thing. And we walked out of the gym one night after this guy had, you know, asked me if I wanted to train there. And Leandra looked at me and she was like, Jack, you love that. You've missed that. You've been a little more sad this last year because you haven't been around people as much. Maybe you should do this a couple hours a day or like 5 hours a week or something like that. And I was like, you know what? This girl knows me so well, because literally I think I've been back to training 3 weeks now, but my personality and my positivity just flooded back in that period of time. And I feel like I've been myself again. And also that initially inspired the business that I've built now. So in kind of a way, I feel like these people are still paying for sessions, but in a way I feel like I'm giving back to them to continuing to help people in person. And they also continue to inspire my work every day that I sit down on my computer or film, because I get questions from, my clients all the time, and, anecdotes and challenges that they're facing. And it just occurs to me like, oh my gosh, I need to film an exercise for this because somebody's having, a low back problem and this alleviates low back pain. Or, oh, this person is always on the go and they're really limited with meal options, and I need to, make some lectures or a course on, how to eat and lose weight on the go. So it's been, and it's so funny too, Phil, because since I've taken this training job that I don't need, my productivity has gone off the charts. I think I've only been training like 8 to 10 sessions a week, which are either an hour or a half an hour. And I think I've shot like in the ballpark of 50 to 60 lecture videos in like the last I think it's been 2 weeks that I started shooting video with all that stuff. So it's just kind of funny how productivity and work begets like productivity and more work. So, and it's made me excited to keep doing this. So
I totally get what you mean though. And my wife, she knows me so well too. And if I spend an entire week at home in my office working and I don't get out and meet with friends or try to do work somewhere else, I get cranky. And so I totally know what you mean. And Chad mentioned in the comments about doing what you're actually teaching gives you credibility as well. And that's something that I try to balance my time also by doing actual freelance video work, just to be able to keep up with.
And have you felt better since you've been working freelance with clients again?
Oh yeah.
I can tell,
Yeah, and there's a balance to it. There's been the past couple of weeks have been crazy for me because I'm trying to create classes on top of all of my freelance work, but I do get those creative juices flowing. And so, that's good advice for people to continue to actually do what they're teaching. So Dave, do you have any questions? I know we got a couple great questions coming in the chat that we can ask Jack for the last 20 minutes or so.
Well, I've been thinking about coming out with my own fitness course, Jack. So I thought I'd get some advice from you. It's basically, it's leg lifts on a couch recliner. So I'm wondering,
I love it. Assisted leg lifts on a lazy boy. I think
it'll be short.
I was about to say you could stretch a half an hour about that exercise.
That's good. That's good.
It'd be a really short course. I'll make it a free course first, just like you did.
I think comedy would work on there. Well, you guys have seen the course about the guy who does the zombie apocalypse survival stuff, right? The non-violent zombie apocalypse survival course. It's gotten really popular. Yeah, you guys should go check it out. It's really funny. It's really funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Well, you should, Jack. You should really teach a course though on like 10 workouts for people sitting at their desk. I don't know if you already have that, but it would be nice for someone like me who's sitting at my desk all the time to just be able to know a few different things that I can do throughout the day. Because sometimes it's the end of the day, it's 5 o'clock, I'm turning in, I'm like, I've only taken like 50 steps all day from the bathroom to my office and back again.
Sure. So. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And, I think that I started shooting one of like the majority of those videos that I've shot recently are actually for a like natural functional movement course that's really beneficial for people who sit a lot throughout the workday. And I'm still kind of refining the pitch or the title of like how I want to put that out there. But I've got so many friends and so many clients who, sit 8 to 10 or 12 hours a day, and their hips are all locked up and their muscles are out of balance, and they've lengthened some muscle groups and they've way tightened the others, and it's changed their posture. So that I really want to work on. So yeah, thanks for putting that out there.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's get to some of these questions. I know one wasn't, it didn't pop up in the questions, but I want to get to it because it was a good question about Twitter. Mark asks, should you promote your products on Twitter, or is it too pushy? And I don't know if you use Twitter, but I know you do use Instagram to build your brand. So are you using Instagram at all, or Twitter?
I am kind of passively. I've just been using Instagram as kind of my hub for pushing a good piece of content to my other platforms. Twitter, I could just, there were times that I would get in and out of Twitter, but I never felt like it was I don't know. I never felt like it was the platform for me to get into. I've always liked pictures and video, and those are shared a lot more on the internet than text nowadays for the most part. And it was always so quick, and everything was always short-lived on Twitter. And I still think it is a huge powerhouse, but I've kind of just decided to stick with Instagram, Facebook, and now I really want to hone in on YouTube because that's one of the most visible platforms that I could possibly use for fitness, and it's massive for fitness people. So
yeah. And I think Dave would agree with me in saying that for anyone who does want to use Twitter, Facebook, Instagram to promote their products, it's probably a better idea to create some sort of sales funnel that has it, whether it's a really great article that you're just giving out for free, or a YouTube video, or some actual kind of lead magnet like a guide or an ebook or a free course. Those are the kind of things that I would suggest promoting on social media. And I've had better success promoting than just straight up trying to sell a course or a product.
Sure. I think that's great.
So Chad had a quick question about, are there any legal regulations regarding giving health advice? That's an interesting question. Like, do you have any disclaimers in your courses?
I do. I have disclaimers posted in my course, and I think that everybody kind of needs to give one to be safe. Like, I have somewhere in every one of my courses that please make sure you go see your doctor or physician before you do this. Like, you need to make sure you're healthy and clear to be able to do exercise or change anything about your diet, because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physical therapist. I'm not a nurse practitioner. I'm not a physician's assistant. Like, I'm a certified personal trainer. And I've got a huge level of interest for things in health and fitness. But there are things outside of my scope of practice that you do need to see your doctor, your physician, your orthopedist about, and not me. And otherwise, I'm more than happy to help you out with other things that you need. Yeah, but as far as training goes, I mean, I've got a certification. I've still got personal trainers insurance, even though I'm covered by the place that I'm training in right now. But yeah, I think it's good for just about anybody nowadays, especially how hairy legal things can get, to put out a general disclaimer of like, hey, look, this, like that stuff that you want to know about is outside of my scope of practice. This is what I can help you with. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Another question from Sir John, one of our best fans who's with us every week. Thanks for being here again. I think it was John who was saying he was bouncing back and forth between the Republican debate, which is awesome that we're competing with them. They're probably a little bit more entertaining, but I think we're a little bit more, we'll help you guys out a little bit more. And so his question was, what is your best use of advertising dollars? I don't know if you are using ads at all. Have you tried that?
I've only used ads twice. I used ads shortly after I first got on Udemy to market my courses on Google Ads before I was opted into their advertising program. And I just about broke even. I think I made like $5 and I spent like $67 on ads or something like that over the course of, I don't know, it was less than a week. It was a few days. And then the most recent ads that I ran, this was back in August or September, and I was taking a course on Facebook ads and buffing your Facebook following. And I really wanted to, like, in the middle of this course, I was learning about how you can get your cost per follower or cost per like down to like a penny. And it just happened to coincide that some of the major followings I have in some of my courses were in the countries where the pennies per like were really low. And I was like, well, this is almost a non-decision to run a marketing test for this. Like, I'm making money at selling these fitness courses. Why don't I funnel back in like a few bucks even to just run a cheap test? And I think I spent $15 over like 4 days and got 850 or 860 likes, which has significantly boosted the engagement and the visibility of my Facebook page. And so now I really want to integrate that as a regular piece of what I'm reinvesting my sales dollars into every month. Even if it's $20 a month on Facebook ads, it's really important for me because I know that people go out there and they just buy cheap likes in countries that have nothing to do with them. But if I could target like 3 countries that I have people who are participating in my courses in, and they can share that with their friends and everything else. I think those numbers really not only like boost my credibility at what I'm doing, but also open my visibility up to funneling people from Facebook, to my website and to Teachable and to Udemy sales or, YouTube or wherever else I want to lead and direct them.
Nice. Okay, we got one more question on our question board. Art Jones had asked a while ago, your customers respond best to shorter courses under 3 hours as your most popular courses. So I think he's asking, do you have any courses longer than 3 hours, and are your shorter courses better?
I need to check. I think the biggest weight loss course I have, the one that I've had since the beginning, I think that one might have been over 3. I'd have to go back and check. And then the testosterone course and the muscle course, I know, are both pretty lengthy. But I think in the future, especially since we all know about the massive pricing change they're having on Udemy and cutting it to, $20 to $50, period for courses. I think that I'm going to start keeping my courses brief and to the point, and just giving people their workouts, giving them their nutrition plan, giving them the outlines, giving them the downloadable PDFs, and getting in and getting out in like 30 minutes to tops an hour and a half. Because at the end of the day, I think the best thing that I can give people that I put on most of my courses, I'm not sure if I put this on all my courses, but I need to go back and put them on there, is that for a personal training session on the absolute low end, like if you've got a buddy in Los Angeles, it's going to be like $40 an hour. And then most places, depending on where you're going, are going to charge you more like 60 to 100 or 100 to 150, depending on how specialized you are. If you've trained celebrities, if you're training massive groups of people, if you train like high class corporate people or like whatever, depending on how long your workouts are and what kind of equipment you're using and things like that. So I feel like a really good thing for me to go to is like, hey, if you can get all of my courses for the price of one personal training session or a fraction of the price of a personal training session, and you can take these workouts and the formulas that I give you and how to build your own and use them for life, like, I want to make it as big of a non-decision for people as I can. If you can perform all these workouts and all these exercises because I've given you the modifications to be able to use them with whatever kind of injury or impediment that you may have, like if I had a trainer telling me that and I wasn't into fitness, I'd be like, this makes perfect sense because it's cheaper than, $120 DVD set from guys on YouTube or, Beachbody or bodybuilding.com or anything like that. So I think that's kind of the way I'm going to go. I want to give people only exactly what they need. I thought about, a while ago, I remember we were talking on a call, Phil, and Scott posed to me. He was like, why don't you make this huge, like comprehensive fitness course and study like actual health and fitness classes in these books and give people the entire synopsis from like getting into health and fitness to, the epic effect and how to measure their own body fat percentage and make like a 10 or 12 hour course. But I think fitness is so much simpler than that, because if you look at the most popular things that sell out there, it's like they'll include a meal plan in your DVD set or your download, and they'll give you, 6 to 10 workouts to repeat for like 6 to 12 weeks. And I think if that's what people need and that's what they've said they need, that's exactly what I want to give them to help them in that way. So, and I feel like that's a more than reasonable price to give to people.
Yeah, totally. And I think the whole fitness world is built for those types of courses rather than the long 12-hour courses. Sure. And so I think you're going to have a lot of success. So we got, 5-10 minutes left. Let's open up the seat in case anybody does want to hop on and ask Jack some questions. But while we're waiting for any more questions, if people want to post in the chat or come on live, Jack, can you tell us where people can find you? What's your home base?
The best place to find me is trainerjack.com. I feel like that's an easy enough URL to remember, even though a lot of my friends will joke around with me and call me Jack the Trainer, which I think is great too. But yeah, trainerjack.com is the best place to find me. And also Trainer Jack on Instagram. That's where I'm posting most of my stuff, or Trainer Jack W on Facebook is where I've been posting a lot of links to my blog posts and things like that.
Awesome. I love Chad's suggestion. Get jacked with Jack.
Get jacked with Jack. Oh, I love that. That's great.
Maybe your next class.
I love that.
Everyone who's watching, if you guys aren't a fan of our Facebook page for the Passive Income Show, we encourage you to go log on to Facebook, join our Facebook group, and you'll get notified for all of our upcoming blabs. Dave, you have any last questions for Jack, or do we got anyone who wants to come aboard? Anyone that has more questions for Jack?
Jump on if you want to.
Yeah, while we're waiting for somebody, I thought that was a brilliant description of your marketing. How you're saying that, hey, 1 hour session with a personal trainer is going to be anywhere from $40 to $80, and this is a fraction of that, but it's going to give you so much more value. It's basically lifetime value. It's like having a personal trainer with you, and then you still have the question or the discussion bar where people can type in their questions for you. So it's like having a virtual personal trainer. It
definitely is.
Which I think it's awesome. I think if you position most of your promo videos that way, it's going to be a really good selling point. It sounds like you do that already,
I've been
right?
putting that out there. It's in I think it's in all of my course summaries at this point, and I really want to go back and add that to all of my promos, especially now that the pricing structure is changing on Udemy, because I really think it's so great to let people know, like, I mean, low prices, I think, can devalue what people think of a product. If you buy a car at $20,000, you're not going to think the same of a car that you buy at $200,000. But I really want people to know that I'm sincere about helping them. Like, one of my favorite parts about this is responding to people's questions and messages. Like, I was just talking back and forth with one of my first testimonial success stories, just purely from Udemy. And this guy, I don't even know where he lives. I just know that he vacations to Spain, which I think is really cool. And he was telling, I think he lives in Europe, and he was telling me, he messaged me out of nowhere one day, and he was like, "Thank you so much for giving me this program. I've already lost 13 kilograms, which is roughly between 25 and 30 pounds. And he had been doing it for a number of months. And he said what sold him was my 10-day real food challenge that he took before jumping on the course. And he had lost what did he tell me? I think he had lost 14. Well, no, it wasn't that. I think he lost 7 or 8 pounds in the first 10 days. And by the end of a few weeks, he had lost 14 pounds. And he was like, "I'm sold. I'm sticking to this." And he wrote this huge, amazing review on my weight loss course. And that's what fuels me to keep doing this. The people I'm meeting with in person, the people I'm talking to online. Phil, I think I told you I had the most random review the other day. Somebody who didn't even have a profile picture on Udemy just dropped in, wrote a 5-star review of the course, and said, "Hey, Jack, thanks for the awesome course. I've already lost 30 pounds and trimmed inches off of my waistline." And that was it. It wasn't I was like, well, I need to know the story behind this. How long have you been taking this course? And how long have you bbeen doing this? And what kind of combination of stuff have you been doing from the selections that I gave you? And yeah, it was pretty wild.
That's awesome.
The thought just came to mind is because I come from the infomercial world, and it would be awesome, Jack, if you could have a contest with your students to create a quick iPhone video of themselves explaining their success story and how well they've done with the course. I love that. And then give away to those that send you that. Give them a course bundle. Give them all your courses.
I love that idea.
As a way to encourage. And then add those into your promo video so people see, hey, this is getting real results.
See, this is why community amongst instructors is invaluable, because Dave Espino just dropped a serious truth bomb on me that I need to get out there. I need to do that next week. That's so great. Dave, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And again, health and fitness, that's one thing where testimonials, you see that all the time. And it's almost so much that when you see an ad and it's from fat to skinny, it's hard to trust. But if you can have actual videos of people that look like people are actually, in your course, that would be really cool.
That would be awesome. I love that idea. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah. You're welcome. My leg lift one is going to be the opposite. It's going to be from skinny to fat.
I love that. If you want to relax and let out your waistline a little bit more, this is the course for you.
There you go.
You can have some.
How to let yourself go in 30 days.
Got some good recipes and.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be really awesome.
That's really good. So I got one more question before we wrap it up, because no one wants to come on live. But for those of our people listening right now, people listening in the future, you've had a lot of success because you kind of just are a content king and you just create a ton of content. You were fortunate to be able to kind of just quit your job, live off your savings, and do this full time. But for people who are just starting out, what inspiration can you give them? What advice can you give them to just get out there and create their first course or create their next course?
I think the biggest thing, I'm so glad you asked me that, because I'm actually coaching a really close friend of mine through this right now. I've known the guy since, oh my gosh, we've known each other since first grade, I think so. And he is really into video production, and he's also like published 4 Kindle ebooks that have made like the tops of his fiction categories in the last few years. And he's a teacher, really smart guy, really motivated. I'm kind of coaching him through this right now. And I know that he's a little bit of a perfectionist about his content. And I think if I could give anybody a piece of advice, especially if you're working while you do this, because I created the first 2 or 3 courses I had while I was working full time and wearing myself out, and that you just have to do it. And like the first one's not going to be perfect. The next one's not going to be perfect, but you can go back and fine tune it later. It's kind of like writing a book. It's like a book's never going to be perfect, or a paper's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something that you could have done to make it a better and more optimal product. So you really just need to put yourself on camera, get over the fear of doing that, or, set that microphone in front of you, and turn on Audacity or whatever program that you're using for it, and just fire it up and go and see what comes out. Because I think, how I create my courses is kind of like how I write my blog posts. I do an extensive amount of competitive research and product research and make sure that the idea works and that people want that before I create it. So once it comes to the time of creating the product, it's like, okay, I just got to do this. And I think once you get in the habit of creating 1 video a day, it's really easy to make 2 videos a day and 3 videos a day. And like, this past week, I think on a Tuesday, I shot like 8 to 10 videos. Half of them were for YouTube, half of them were for Udemy. And I think half of those YouTube videos could be repurposed for Udemy courses. So, I think just it's not going to be perfect. It might never be perfect, but if you love what you do and you're passionate about it, people will see that. And the chances are you probably are knowledgeable about it, more knowledgeable than most people who do this as just a hobby. So you just got to get out there and create.
Awesome. I love it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, Jack, we're going to let you go. Thanks so much for being on the show. Everyone, you can check out Jack's stuff at trainerjack.com or searching Jack Wilson on Udemy. We appreciate you being here. And for everyone, click that link to subscribe to our show next week, all about YouTube. It's going to be great. Dave and I are going to be dropping some more knowledge bombs about what we're doing to promote our online courses on YouTube. So thanks so much, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, Jack.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it.